We're all taught to chase goals, right? Hit those targets, climb that ladder. But what happens when you actually get to the top and you still feel, I don't know, a little empty? Well, today we're going to explore a totally different way of thinking about this. A path that goes way beyond just the next finish line to find a purpose that, well, never runs out.
Seriously, have you ever had this feeling? You finally land that dream job. You wrap up a massive project. You hit a goal you've been grinding for years. You're supposed to be on top of the world. But instead, there's this quiet, nagging question. Is this it? That feeling? That strange anticlimax? That's exactly what we're going to get into today.
All right, here's the plan. We'll start with something I call the finish line trap. Then we'll get into this idea of two different games we play in life. We'll see how it shakes out at work and then in our own personal lives. And to finish up, we'll talk about how you can actually start your own infinite journey.
Okay, let's dive right in. Section 1, the finish line trap. And this is all about that weird, empty feeling that sometimes comes right after a huge win. You push so hard to get somewhere, and when you finally arrive, it just feels kind of hollow. That right there is the finish line trap.
I mean, think about it. Most of the time we define purpose as some kind of fixed destination, right? It's a sales number we have to hit, a degree we have to get, a promotion we're gunning for. It's something clear, something you can measure, and we just lock onto it and sprint towards it.
So, you do it. You get the degree. You smash the sales number. You win the championship. And yeah, for a minute it feels amazing. But then what? The party ends, the confetti settles, and there's that question again. Okay, now what? The very thing that was driving you is gone because you achieved it.
Okay, so here's the thing. That now what feeling, it's not you failing. It might just be a sign that you're playing the wrong game. Let's introduce a new idea, the finite versus the infinite mindset. What if life and our careers aren't actually races with a finish line? What if they're a completely different type of game?
And this brings us to the core idea of an infinite purpose. Think of it this way. It's not a destination you arrive at. It's more like a direction you're heading in. It's your deeper why, the real reason you do what you do. It's a cause that's so big, so meaningful, that no single achievement could ever fully capture it. The whole point isn't to win and be done. The point is to keep playing, to keep moving that cause forward. Let's break this down. A finite game is like football. You've got known players, a fixed set of rules, and a clear end. Someone wins, someone loses. Game over. But then you have infinite games, like business, or your career, or, well, life. In these games, the players can change, the rules are bendable, sometimes they change completely overnight, and there's absolutely no finish line. You can't win at your career, right? The real goal is just to stay in the game and keep improving.
All right, so let's take this idea and apply it to the world of work, because this is where seeing the difference between these two mindsets can have some really, really big consequences for a company. We're talking about the difference between long-term success and just fizzling out.
So, picture a company whose whole mission statement boils down to this: to be number one in our market. I mean, it sounds good, right? It's a classic finite goal, super motivating, totally clear, but it's also a massive trap.
Now let's compare that to a company with an infinite mission, something like to help people live healthier lives. See? This company isn't obsessed with its rank. It's focused on a cause, and a mission like that can never be finished. Their products might change, the market will definitely shift, but their core reason for being, their why, that stays the same, and it keeps pushing them to innovate.
And here's what happens over time. The finite player, the company that hits number one, what do? They start playing defense. They get scared of losing their top spot, so they become risk-averse, they stop innovating. But the infinite player, the one with the big mission, they're always pushing forward, always looking for new ways to advance their cause. They stay dynamic, they stay relevant, because they're focused on the future, not just their current position.
Okay, so this isn't just about big companies. This same exact logic applies to us and our own personal paths. So often, we treat our lives like a checklist we have to get through, just moving from one finite goal to the next. I mean, does this look familiar to you? Step 1, get the degree. Step 2, land the dream job. Step 3, get the promotion. We're pretty much taught that this is how it works, right? A straight line. But what happens when you tick all the boxes? You end up at step 4, staring into the void, asking that same old question. So, now what?
But this is where the infinite mindset completely changes the game. It reframes everything. A success isn't the end of the story. It's just a milestone on the journey. And maybe even more important, a failure isn't a dead end. It's just feedback. It's data. It's another step on a much, much longer and more meaningful path.
Let's make this super concrete. A finite goal is get a specific job. An infinite purpose is pursue continuous learning. A finite goal might be move to a new country, but an infinite purpose could be create a positive impact on others, no matter where you are. You see the shift? One is a destination you arrive at. The other is a journey you're always on.
Okay, this all sounds great, but how do we actually do it? How do we make this shift in our own lives? How do we figure out which game we're even playing right now?
Well, here's a simple way to start your infinite journey. It really boils down to 4 things. First, just take a moment to reflect. Look at the goals you have right now. Are they destinations or are they directions? Second, try to define your cause. What's the deeper why that's really hiding behind your actions? Third, you've got to actively reframe what success looks like. When you accomplish something, celebrate it as a milestone, not the finish line. And finally, and this is a big one, learn to embrace the process. Find joy in the journey itself, not just in getting to the destination.
You know, when we stop seeing success as the end of the road, it's like we unlock something. We free ourselves up to build a life and a career that's all about continuous growth, about being resilient, and about having a real, genuine purpose. So the question to leave you with isn't just what do you want to achieve? The real question is what infinite game are you playing?